Peace be upon you. Welcome back to Wealth and Wisdom. There is a very interesting verse in the Holy Quran. Verily, Allah enjoins justice, and the doing of good to others, and giving like kindred, chapter 16 verse 91. In order to understand the concept of economic justice, we must first understand the concept of justice in general, its definition and importance. Then we will apply that to an economic system, because justice in the economy is perhaps the most important applications of justice, unless you don't want a peaceful society. Justice is not the end. It is the means that will lead to grace and then to a spontaneous expression of love and care as experienced by a mother for her child, who would not want to have a society like that. In fact, the desire for this ultimate objective, where the whole society is so harmonious that everyone feels about the next person as their kin, is a desire that is built into the human psyche. All laws, philosophies, dogmas try to achieve this objective. Islam provides the way, and the first stop on this journey is justice, that is, absolute justice. Absolute justice can be compared to the idea of equilibrium and balance in the physical world. An example can be seen in an ecosystem. A perfect balance exists between the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom, and this balance is responsible for the survival of the whole system. A slight deviation, like cutting some trees, killing some animals, or introducing some new ones, adversely affects the whole system. Justice is in play in all spheres of life and is essential for survival. Human beings are given free will, so the true absolute justice will be defined as a conscious effort to remain on this just path. For an illustration, visualize a bullet jetting out of a muzzle. From then on, it is on a fixed path governed by the natural laws. If other factors, such as winds and change of medium, influence the bullet to deviate from this set course, and if again the bullet had not only the consciousness but also the ability and strength to resist these influences and continue to maintain its trajectory unruffled, then that conscious effort to remain on the right path is what is termed as absolute justice. Now that we have an understanding of the theory of absolute justice, let us explore its application in an economic system. Allah explained the fundamental principles of economic justice to Prophet Adam, peace be upon him, as follows. It is provided for thee that thou wilt not hunger therein, nor wilt thou be naked, and that thou wilt not thirst therein, nor wilt thou be exposed to the sun. Chapter 20 verses 119,120. Hence, at the economic level, the teachings of Adam, peace be upon him, comprise four fundamental rights granted to man at the very start of the formation of society. Every person has the right to be properly fed. None will remain hungry. Every person has the right to be adequately clothed. Every person is guaranteed a supply of healthy water. None will be left without shelter. Why, one would ask, is Islam trying to guarantee these rights? It is not fashionable these days to say that one needs to earn these basic needs. It is not an expectation of these fundamental rights termed as freeloading. Is not the popular phrase in today's materialistic society, equality of opportunity, not equality of equity? Are you not supposed to work for a living? Would not a society encourage laziness by guaranteeing these rights? These are tough questions. For an answer, let us turn to the ultimate creation of the Almighty, the human body. First part of the answer deals with the concept of cause and effect, meaning what would happen if these rights were not respected. The natural laws will work against such a society. The members of a society that will utilize this right may not be the most vibrant contributors to the economy. They may not be paying the most taxes. They may not be the intellectuals and the thinkers. Nevertheless, they are parts of the same whole. Some parts of a human body contribute more to the bodily functions than others. Mind is the king, heart is the government, immune system is the army, kidneys and lungs are the cleaning crew, blood vessels are the post office, all working vigorously toward the survival of the body. And then there is the small toe, lonely toe that no one cares about. That toe may not be contributing as much as the heart or the mind, but nevertheless it has some basic rights to blood, energy, nourishment, etc. These rights are not a function of the organ's contribution, because health of the whole body would be adversely affected even if the least important organ is deprived of these basic necessities. Ignoring an injury to the toe may cause tetanus or some other disease causing grave suffering to the whole body. This is what will happen in a society that does not guarantee the basic rights. If it does not guarantee the blood circulation to some organs from the point of view that they have done nothing to earn it, the society as a whole will suffer from painful diseases. We see implications of that every day in every society that does not follow this principle. We see young innocent children turning into gangsters and murderers. We see families losing their fathers to drugs and suicide. We see mothers abandoning their children. We see abortion on the rise. We see care on decline. We see apathy strengthening and empathy losing, all signs of a sick, infected, and diseased society. Why do we feel surprised on hearing such incidents? Allah has already told us the principle governing these outcomes. Allah has promised us that a guarantee of these rights will make this very world a heaven. Consequently, a lack of this awareness will make this world a hell. The second part of the answer deals with the ownership of the economy. There is no controversy, for example, over the right to breathe. No one is required to pay for breathing, because air is no one's property and the mode of its circulation, as chosen by the Almighty, does not involve a payment system. Source of material wealth is none other, but the same God. For its distribution, He has established a different system involving human beings as the carriers, just like blood is carried one way in a human body and air is another. God is still the source, so He has the ultimate right to dictate the ground rules for its distribution. Allah tells us about this rule as follows. And Allah multiplies it further for whomsoever He pleases. And Allah is bountiful and Allah is all-knowing. Chapter 2 verse 262. If the heart pumps the blood to go toward the feet, no organ in between the two has any right to hoard the blood. No argument may be used to justify such an attitude by any organ, simply because it was not its blood to begin with. At any given time, one organ may be using more blood than the other, it may be using more resources than the other, but at no time is that organ the owner of those resources. The wealth of the society does not belong to individuals, as a capitalist might want, nor does it belong to the society, as a socialist may desire. It belongs to God and God alone. He is the only one who has the final right to decide on the methods of its distribution. Now that we have established the definition of absolute justice and its importance in an economic system, what guidance does God provide us in this regard? We give the answer to this from the writings of Hadrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad. May Allah have mercy on him. He was the fourth successor of the promised Messiah Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, peace be upon him, explained this as follows. In scientific socialism, an attempt is made to level off the economic soil so completely and perfectly that there are no ups and downs left. If watered, such a soil will get its share equally. There is no question of any demand from the have-nots nor any threat to the haves from the less fortunate sections of the society to forcibly rob them of their surplus wealth. In the capitalist society, they talk more of equal opportunities, level playing fields and free economies than of equal distribution of wealth. Thus there is always room for the demand of rights and the creation of pressure groups such as trade unions etc., which seek the most out of the government or other capitalists for the sake of the employee and the laborer who always live under a sense of deprivation. If scientific socialism is implemented ideally, there is no need left for any section of society to make demands. Either that society would be rich enough to equitably distribute national wealth according to the needs, or it would be so poor as to have failed to fulfill even the basic needs, leaving every member of the society to share equally in the misery. Either way, it would end up as a society where demand no longer has a meaningful role to play. The capitalist system, on the other hand, is demand-oriented. The less fortunate section of the society must be given the right to express its dissatisfaction and a free opportunity to be heard. Hence the need for the formation of pressure groups and strikes, industrial strife, lockouts etc. Islam attempts to create an attitude whereby the governments and the wealthy are constantly reminded that it is in their own ultimate interest to establish an equitable system. They are also constantly exhorted to be on the lookout for the rights of others. The weak and the poor should not be denied their fundamental economic rights, such as freedom to choose one's profession, equal access to opportunities, and the basic requirements of life. The lack of this very special attitude has already caused much misery, pain and disorder in the history of human struggle and survival. There is thus greater emphasis in Islam on giving than taking or keeping. The government and the wealthy must constantly be on the lookout lest there be a section of society which is deprived of the fundamental human right to live decently. A truly godly state would have felt the need and taken appropriate measures for its fulfillment. Before grief turns into crises and protest, and before the need threatens peace and order, the cause of grief must be removed and the need fulfilled. Islam's response to contemporary issues. Join us next time as we continue our exploration of economic justice. If you learned something today, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.